living in a pluralistic context that we live in, we have every responsibility to be able to say something intelligent about the nature of what we believe. Now here, I'm not talking about being able to give a 10-minute précis on the meaning of transubstantiation. But I would like to know what Eucharist means to you. What's the sense of Eucharist in your life? And in order to be able to do that, adults need to be in conversation with other adults. The only way adults are going to learn how to articulate their faith is if they have the opportunity to articulate their faith among themselves. Adults grow in their faith best in conversation with other adults about things that matter. One time, quick story. One time we're in the car, and my oldest daughter, who's now 23, and we'd be mortified if you heard this, that I was telling you this story. When she was about 8, we were driving down the road, and a funeral procession passed in front of us. And she said, so Mom, what do they do with the heads? One of the things I learned teaching undergrads is if you ask them to repeat the question, or repeat the question back to them, that sometimes helps. So I said to her, what did they do with the heads? And she said, yes, you're always telling me that they're only burying the body. So what do they do with the heads? Now, that makes us laugh, and it made me laugh. But what it also introduced was an opportunity for me to talk about what I believe about the resurrection, about heaven, about what it means to be a believer, and how we understand death. Now, the fact of the matter is, the only reason I could do that is I had the opportunity to do it in other contexts. If that was the first time I'd ever been asked to talk about death, I don't know what I would have said. That would have been really tough. But because I'd been in contexts where I'd been able to talk about what I believed, it then became easier to talk about it in that context. So the way in which we engage in adult formation is an essential component for a new evangelization. This is a quote from Adult Catechesis in the Christian Community. I weave it into almost every talk that I give, so some of you may have it memorized by now. In summary, in order for the good news of the kingdom to penetrate all the various layers of the human family, that's evangelization, right? We already saw that, okay? It is crucial that every Christian play an active part in the coming of the kingdom. All of this naturally requires adults to play a primary role. Hence, it is not only legitimate but necessary to acknowledge that a fully Christian community can only exist when a systematic catechesis of all its members takes place, and when an effective and well-developed catechesis of adults is regarded as a central task in the catechetical enterprise. Key to new evangelization is adult engagement and adult formation. There's really no other way to do it.